Before you get a pit bull, there are a few things you need to understand first. And I don't mean any fluffy rescue slogans. I absolutely don't mean any of the fear mongering stuff either. I'm talking about the real stuff that you need to completely understand before you get your hands on a pit bull. Because pit bulls are one of those dogs that people either romanticize like crazy or demonize like crazy. And both sides usually leave out the part that actually matters, which is what it's like to live with one in real life. So if you're thinking about getting one or rescuing one, or you already have one and you're trying to make sense of what's in front of you, here are 5 things I think you need to know before bringing a pit bull into your life. Number 1, pit bull is not actually one specific breed. This is where the whole conversation gets messy right out of the gate. A lot of people say pit bull like they're talking about one dog, but they're not. See, most of the time, pit bull is being used as this umbrella label for a bunch of different dogs that share a certain look. The American Pit Bull Terrier, Amstaff, Staffy, American Bully, mixes, and then a whole bunch of random blocky-headed shelter dogs that may or may not actually be any of those things. And that 100% matters. Because when people say, I want a pit bull, a lot of times they want the head shape, the body, the short coat, the muscle, the image that comes with it all. All of those dogs can vary a lot. Some are more athletic, some are heavier and more exaggerated, some are more terrier, some are more bully, some are more stable, some are more social, and some are just a complete genetic mess. So right away, before you even start talking about temperament, training, or whether they're good with kids, you need to understand that a lot of people shopping for a pit bull don't even really know what kind of dog they're actually talking about. And as you might imagine, that becomes a problem really fast, especially in shelters, rescues, and online listings where half the dogs are being labeled based on head shape and vibes. So that's the first thing. If you think you're getting a pit bull, you need to slow down and ask yourself what dog you're actually getting. Because that label by itself doesn't tell you enough. Number 2, genetics matter way more than people want to admit. So this one makes people uncomfortable, but it's true. A lot of people love saying, it's all about how you raise them. No, it's not. Now, don't get me wrong. How you raise a dog matters. Of course it does. The environment matters. Leadership matters. Socialization matters. But genetics matter too, and pretending they don't is one of the dumbest things people keep repeating about dogs in general, and pit bulls especially. These dogs didn't come out of nowhere. Their history matters. What people selected for in them matters. What got bred into certain lines matters. And on top of that, now you've got decades of backyard breeding, sloppy breeding, people breeding for image, breeding unstable dogs, breeding nervy dogs, breeding over-the-top dogs, breeding dogs they never should have bred in the first place. So when people talk about pit bulls like they're all the same, it is not true. A well-bred, stable pit bull type dog can be confident, social with people, affectionate, engaged, athletic, and a really solid companion, as I'm sure some of you have actually seen in your lifetime. A badly bred one, though, can be nervy, frantic, pushy, chaotic, over-aroused, unpredictable with other dogs, hard to shut off, and emotionally all over the place. And people act shocked by that, like it's all coming from nowhere, and it's not. You cannot outlove bad genetics. You can manage them better, you can lead better, you can set the dog up better, but you cannot just pretend the foundation on how they exist does not matter. So before you get one, you need to stop thinking in slogans and start thinking about their bloodlines, temperament, history, and what kind of dog is actually standing right in front of you. Number 3, human-friendly does not always mean dog-friendly, and this is a huge one. This is where people get themselves into trouble because they hear pit bulls love people, and they do, and then they make this giant leap in logic and assume that means that the dog should also love every dog, every cat, every animal, every chaotic dog park they go to, every multi-dog household, every off-leash greeting, and every poorly managed introduction. That's not how it works. One of the biggest things that people get wrong is they blur together human sociability, dog sociability, prey behavior, and general arousal like those are all the same thing, and they're not. A dog can be incredibly affectionate with people and still be a problem with other dogs. A dog can sleep in bed with your kid and still need serious management around unfamiliar dogs. The same dog can be goofy and loving in the house and still become intense, competitive, or even reactive in the wrong setting. And with pit bull type dogs, that matters. Because one of the hardest realities for people to accept is that some of these dogs are just not built to be carefree, social, anything goes dogs with every dog they may meet. Some can live beautifully with other dogs. Some can't. Some can with good management. Some can until maturity hits and then the entire picture changes. And that's another thing that people don't talk about enough: maturity. A lot of dogs seem easier as puppies or adolescents, and then they start growing up, settling into themselves, and now you're seeing more clearly what's actually there. And that doesn't mean the dog turned bad. It just means the dog matured. So before getting a pit bull, you need to understand this clearly. Do not assume that because a dog is sweet with other humans, it will automatically be easy with other animals. That assumption has ruined a lot of homes and ended very badly for other animals in those homes. Number 4, these dogs are powerful, athletic, and very easy to underestimate. This is another place where people get fooled by the internet today. They see the dog in the hoodie. They see the dog cuddling a baby. They see the dog smiling in a shelter photo, and they forget that this is still a physically serious animal. A lot of pit bull type dogs are medium-sized, but they don't feel medium-sized when they're dragging somebody down the sidewalk, launching off the couch, blowing through a boundary, or climbing something they shouldn't be climbing. See, a lot of pit bull type dogs are medium-sized, but they don't feel medium-sized when they're dragging somebody down the sidewalk, launching off the couch, blowing through a boundary, climbing something they shouldn't be, or hitting the end of the leash with bad intentions. These dogs are often strong, athletic, explosive, and very committed once they get going. And if you're not ready for that, they will humble you quickly. And again, it doesn't mean they're bad dogs. It means that they're not soft little beginner dogs that you can just wing it with and hope it all works out. A lot of them are physically pushy even when they're being friendly. They can be mouthy, intense, high drive. They can be hard to bring down once they're finally over aroused. And this is where I see so many people underestimate them and then they end up overwhelmed. Not because the dog is just evil and possessed, but because they weren't prepared for the combination of strength, determination, drive, and emotional intensity of this type of dog. So if you want one of them, ask yourself honestly, can I handle the dog physically, mentally? Can I guide it when it's excited? Can I interrupt behavior early? And can I stay calm when this dog isn't calm? Because if the answer is no, you need to rethink what you're potentially going to be bringing home. Number 5, a lot of people want the image, but not the reality. And this is probably the biggest one. A lot of people are drawn to pit bulls for the wrong reasons. Some want the image or the look. Some want the underdog story. Some want to save one. Some people want to see them as the kind of person. Some people want to see them. Some want people to see them as the kind of person who has a misunderstood dog. And some want a scary dog some want a scary looking dog without understanding what living with that actually means. And almost nobody says that part out loud, but it's the complete and absolute truth. People shop with their ego all the time, and that is a terrible way to choose a dog. Because if you get a pit bull for the image, eventually the image wears off and then the real dog is still there. The real dog still needs structure. He still needs management. The real dog still needs exercise, clarity, leadership, and a life that fits. And if all you were really in love with was the look, the label, or the fantasy, that dog is going to pay for it. That's a big reason why so many pit bull type dogs end up in shelters. Not because they're bad or all dangerous, but because people wanted a symbol and they actually got a real responsibility. And of course, those two things are not the same. A really good pit bull in the right hands can be an incredible dog, a deeply bonded dog, a funny dog, trainable, resilient, a dog that gives you everything that it has. But you've got to be honest about what you're signing up for. If you want the look, but not the work, do not get one. If you want the status, but not the responsibility, don't get one. If you want a dog that makes you look a certain way, more than a dog that fits your actual life, definitely do not get one. So those are 5 things I really think people need to understand before getting a pit bull. If you own one, let me know in the comments. Have you seen any of this to be true with your dog? Do you agree? Or do you think I missed anything? And if you're thinking about getting a pit bull before this video, I'm curious, did this change your mind at all, or did it just help you to think about it differently? And if you're thinking about getting a pit bull before this video, I'm curious, did this change your mind at all about it, or did it at least help you think about it a little bit differently? If you want more honest videos like this about dogs, breeds, and what life with them is actually like, go ahead and hit subscribe to my channel now. And from here, you should watch my video on why so many pit bulls end up in shelters, because that's really the next part of this conversation. We'll see you guys in the next one.